Welcome to Strategy and Tea, episode 12. Today we are visiting Northern Ireland. Our guest is Sharon. She's a LinkedIn coach who is on a mission to revolutionize how people feel about and use the platform. She's going to share with us how using LinkedIn can help you as an online course creator. But before we jump in, I would like to invite you to join my free community, the Online Course Creator Circle, space where you could get strategy, feedback, and accountability. And now let's start the interview. Welcome, Sharon. Thank, thank you for being here and accepting my
Thank you.
invitation. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Good. Thank you. Yes, me too. And I have my cup of tea.
Good, I have mine too. Cheers. Okay, so please tell us about your story and how you got involved in LinkedIn coaching.
So I started in June 2019 as a virtual assistant. I always had a background in admin and PA and office management work. And I came out of that and decided to try it alone and see what happened. And immediately when I said that that was what I was doing, people said to me, "Oh, well, then you'll get your clients from LinkedIn. You need to be on LinkedIn." And I actually really didn't know very much about it. I hardly ever used it. And I was really, really nervous of it. And I thought, oh, I don't really like LinkedIn, but I'll have to sort this out. I'll have to go for it. So I jumped in, took the plunge, jumped in, because I did know that that was where I had to run my virtual assistant business out of, and I really really did enjoy it. I was really surprised. I found people incredibly supportive on it. When I said I was starting a business, they were very much anything you need, just ask, and you know, and it just built from there, and I was just like a sponge. I just took in everything that I could find out about LinkedIn and went to all the webinars and did all the 5-day challenges and everything that there was and watched what everybody else was doing. And I did get my clients then from there for my virtual assistant business. And then people just started to ask me to do bits of LinkedIn for them. And I really did fall into it. It was never ever an intention to go into LinkedIn because, as I say, I didn't know anything about it. Um, and then we had a pandemic, and
Mhm.
everybody wanted to be on LinkedIn, so it actually worked really well for me. And so I set a date and said, right, on the 31st of May 2020, I'm going to end all my contracts for virtual assistant, and because up to then I'd been overlapping the two
Mhm.
of them. I didn't have the courage to go fully
Yeah.
into LinkedIn. And I set that date and pushed myself to that point that that would be when I would fully go into LinkedIn. And that was what I did. And I suppose the pandemic did accelerate that decision.
Mhm.
So I was really lucky. So that's, yeah. And I mean, and I'm still learning every day. I never call myself an expert. I say I'm only a few steps ahead of everybody else. And I can't believe this is what I do. I love it so much. And I'm so lucky to get up every day and that this is what I get to do. So yeah.
Oh, this lovely story. I also started as a virtual assistant helping online course creators. So we have that in common. And I know the feeling about encouraging yourself to make the jump.
Transition,
Uh,
yeah, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a lot of feelings and emotion. It's, of
Mhm.
course, an exciting moment, but exciting moment. But yes, it's like you have a lot of roller coaster emotion.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I would love to get your opinion on how LinkedIn can specifically help an online course creator.
Um, well, no matter what you do on LinkedIn, no matter what your business is, it's about pulling in that audience that's right for you. And it's really important that you don't get caught up in numbers, that you feel you have to have thousands. So I always say to people, the business that they're in, so online course creators, think about who has businesses that are a sector that complements yours,
Mm-hmm.
that you can leverage their audience. So think outside the box. Who else can you get in touch with that you could maybe collaborate in some way? And as I say, that you can both refer amongst each other.
Uh-huh.
So that for me is really key. And that's where the magic really happens. And you have to remember that LinkedIn is a networking platform. It's not a sales platform. It's a networking. Um, and I think once you get into that mindset, that's when things start to change. And you go on it from a serving perspective rather than a selling perspective. So I think for online course creators, it's a case of sitting down and thinking, who else can I bring into my world that would have the same type of audience? And even make a list, and that will be your search. So then you can go into the search bar and type in those keywords, whether it's web designers or from maybe if it's technical perspective, it might be somebody who does graphics and Canva and all those sorts, and just type those in and bring those sorts of people into your world. That would, for me, that's really key.
Mm, yeah, and yeah, I love that you bring that complementary. So search for complementary expert or specialist. I feel that at least for me at the beginning, the biggest impact was like the power of searching and how you can really filtering the people that you are trying to contact and all that. So definitely this is a good tip for them for starting who the people they need to connect could be
Yes.
around this. Okay, good. What would you say is the biggest struggle that your customers have to address?
I I've talked a lot about this actually, literally in the last week or two, that I feel almost like I'm turning into a mindset coach, because
Mm-hmm.
people do have that block about LinkedIn.
Mm.
Um, they're very fearful of it. They don't. The fear comes from not understanding, obviously, how to use it first of all, but that fear as well of, oh, it's very professional, it's very
Mm.
intellectual. I'm going to look stupid. Um, I'm going to get judged. My ex boss is on there, and I don't want him seeing what I'm doing now. And there's lots of stuff around that. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the one thing that people really struggle with. And the last few clients I've had have actually said to me, I feel physically sick. I actually feel sick at the thought of being on the platform, at the thought of putting a post out, because there's so many people who are more expert
Mm-hmm.
within my field. And
Mm.
I still feel that about LinkedIn, because there's people on there who've been doing LinkedIn a lot longer than I have. And there's still that wee nervousness. But when I go to put something out about LinkedIn, I go, have I actually got this right?
Mm.
Um, so we all have that.
Yeah.
But that's the big thing. So for me, it's about saying to people, we're going to take it in really tiny, don't look too much at the big picture. We're going to do it in really tiny steps, and we're
Mm-hmm.
going to make sure you're really comfortable at every point. And I'm here, and that's why I'm here, to hold your hand. And then they've all said, actually, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Which of course nothing ever is. It's always the thought. The thought of
Yeah.
doing it is always worse than the actual doing of it. And that's what I love, because people, I see their confidence building. It's a huge confidence issue.
Mhm. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, definitely. The mindset is always involved in,
Yes.
and this is something that you see in the online courses because no matter the topic, in every online course you will have some kind of mindset there, because it's so important, and we need to start by there, but be our minds need to be prepared and open to get that. And I love what you say about being an expert and feeling that you don't know everything, because that keep us curious and willing to learn more and keep learning about our platform, but also about other stuff related that could improve us and our way to help other customers or audience. So love that you bring that. Okay. So this could be, I don't know, what, please talk about the most common myth that you find around LinkedIn, or that people have around LinkedIn.
Um, I probably the one people think it's really boring. I mean,
Oh,
everybody's like that.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's really boring, and the posts are really boring, and um, I don't
Mhm.
get it, and I've tried it and it didn't work, and so I'm not going to bother. I'll just stay in my little comfort zone of Facebook and Instagram, and that's why I came up with this at the start of the year, that what's called the LinkedIn revolution, and that's what I'm so passionate about is let's bring some fun. Why can't we can
Please.
still be professional. I know we can still be professional and have a laugh. It doesn't mean we're any less professional. And that really stemmed from when I watched what other people were doing on LinkedIn. I could see people starting to really push the boundaries a little bit, and really being very, very funny. And I just loved where they were coming from, and I just thought, I want to be one of them. I like the look of that. They're just putting their head above the crowd, and we all need to do. We have to do that to stand out. Like social media, the noise, and that's just going to keep getting worse and worse. So it's finding
Yeah.
that way of standing out. And that was where I made the decision at the start of the year. I'm now going to really put myself out there. That was probably one of the most nerve-wracking things I ever did.
Yeah.
But I said no. If I want to really be successful and really serve and be true to myself,
Yes.
I need to be me, fully 100% me, warts and all. If you don't like me, hey ho. But I went for it, and that's what I'm really passionate about, is people not feeling that they have to be somebody else on the platform. Be really true to yourself. If you're crazy mad like me, be crazy mad on LinkedIn, because you will find your place. There's a place for everybody on there. So that's, I mean, I could talk about this for hours because I am really passionate about it. But I want to see the platform just a bit lighter. Not
Mm.
not not going to the Facebook extreme. I completely agree with that, and I know people complain, "No, this is getting like Facebook." It's not. It's not. We'll always keep that very professional, value, educational element to it, and I think any LinkedIn expert, I don't like using that word, but um, I would like to think would say the same. We're still very protective of it as a platform.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't think there's any reason why we can't tell stories and educate people in a much more entertaining way.
Absolutely, 100%. Um, I love that you encourage people to be true themselves, and it's so aligned with something that I also recommend. I always tell, you need to embrace your uniqueness, because you are unique, and that way, by showing yourself, you are going to attract the people that are aligned with your values, with your why, and you will love to work with them and
Mm.
have them, because they will be people that you are happy to have
Yeah,
around. So
exactly.
absolutely be true to yourself. You don't need to pretend to that you are someone else, and you don't need to be super serious to be professional. If you are someone that likes jokes and like funny, silly things, you can bring that into your
Definitely.
content and
Yeah.
still be professional and still be seen as an expert, because it's
Mhm.
not like it's not contradictory. You could be both.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. And those are always the posts that do the best for me on LinkedIn, is when I
Yeah.
do the really silly things. And I do swear in my posts, and I do whatever. That's just me, and you know, people just seem to really love it. And I think when they're scrolling through a lot of very dry, dull, and then they see something funny, it really
Yeah.
stands out
Breathe.
then. And they're like, oh, thank goodness. Someone's actually said something funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's say for someone that is new on LinkedIn, where should they start?
Um, Really, for me, you're starting right at the clarity piece before you even touch LinkedIn, and this is really important. Um, when I work one to one with clients, that's the bit that always surprises them. It's probably about 3 weeks before we even look at LinkedIn, maybe more, um, because it's back to that thing about you need to understand your message. You need to understand who you are and how you want to put yourself out on the platform. And so many people jump into LinkedIn, put a bit of a profile together, connect with loads of random people because they think they have to just have these numbers. And then, oh, I need to put out a post. I'll put a post out, and then, oh, I didn't get any engagement in that post, so I'll not bother. And then and they just jump around a bit.
Mm.
Um, so and when that happens, I always sort of unravel it right back. Right, let's go right back to the start again. Um, what exactly is it what problem do you solve? Um Tell me about you, your personality, your character, your values, all those things, and all that needs to go into your profile. Your profile shouldn't be a CV, because your audience isn't interested. They're not. You have to explain to them how you can solve their problem. Um, and the at the bottom half of your profile there is that part with experience and qualifications and that, and yes, that's where you can put all that in. But from the very top, from the banner, from the headline, from the about section, you need to make it all about your client. I understand this is what you're struggling with. I get it. I've been there. This is how I can help you, and this is how much better you're going to feel after you've used my product or service, and that's so important. And if you don't get that foundational bit right, the rest of the LinkedIn process won't work as well for you.
And I love that you bring that, because it's like it's so important to have the foundations,
Mm.
and then but this something related also, because sometimes people came to, let's say, they want to promote their courses. um they are starting thinking about the technical stuff, and that is like, well, let's go back, because we need to work first on some foundations, and from there, if your message is clear, if your promise is clear,
Mm.
if you know what is the outcome that you are telling them,
Mm.
from there, no matter which platform, no matter where are you communicating to your audience, the most important part is you have clarity about the foundation. So
Yeah.
I can't agree more with that, because when you have that clear, now you could start, okay, now
Exactly.
how I communicate this,
Yes, yes,
but
yeah,
but
exactly.
first knowing exactly what is
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
message.
Mm-hmm. And it's
um
important as well to think about what actually is my goal from LinkedIn. What am I trying
yes,
to achieve?
yes.
And what are my business goals? And how can I weave LinkedIn into that, to get me quicker to that? I mean, that's essentially what I do. It's like LinkedIn is just the tool that you're using to get you to your business goals quicker.
Yeah.
So it's you need to really sit down and think through strategically how am I, where do I want to go, and how is this all going to fit in? And it's like little jigsaw pieces that we need to get all fitted in together, and they all need to be driving to the same point.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, and it's the same as people would say to me, "Oh, I go on to LinkedIn and I'm on for such a long time, and I get drawn into this," and I'm like, "No, what you need to do is you need to, even if you set a timer on your phone, 15 minutes, right? I'm gonna connect with five ideal people, whether it's people that you think that you could maybe work with in some way, or whether it's people that you have worked with before that maybe could refer you, or whatever. I'm going to do that. I'm going to engage. I'm going to leave a comment on two posts
Mm-hmm.
of again people that I really would like to get into their world, and I'm going to start one conversation with somebody
Mm-hmm.
and then walk away. So it's about being really strategic and
Yes.
using the time really productively. 15
Mm-hmm.
minutes, that's it. What, do that every day. And can you imagine the difference that that would make
Mm.
if you did that
Yeah.
every day?
Yeah. If you get strategy with a specific goal, and then you get consistency,
Mhm,
like this combination is so powerful.
mhm.
Sometimes we think about uh, all that we could get in a
Too
year,
much.
let's say.
Yes, it
In
is. Yeah,
long term,
yeah,
we dream big, that is good, but
mhm,
then in the day to day we forget that these little steps is what
yeah.
are going to move you to that
Absolutely,
point.
absolutely.
So
And I'm guilty of it too. You know,
yeah, everyone.
we all.
Me too. Yeah, we all.
I can advise everybody else, and then I will do what I'm telling other people to do.
Yeah,
And I suppose that's why I have a coach, and my coaches have coaches. It's for that same reason. Um,
yeah.
but it's about the really tiny steps, and I have learned that
Mhm.
because I was always too much ahead, and
Mm,
oh, I haven't got to that point, and oh, I failed, and instead of saying, okay, let's just go within 24 hours even. What am I going
mm,
to do today?
mm.
What will I do this week? And let it, there's then a ripple
Yeah,
effect. But I think
yeah,
you're absolutely right, Rima. It's about the really tiny, tiny steps,
mm.
and not looking too big.
Yeah. And I like that sign of dream big and action small or something
Small,
like.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like, yeah, it's good that, of course, you need a goal and
yes,
you need to be sure that your steps are moving you forward to that goal. So
yeah,
it's important to know that
mhm,
which is the direction that you are going to take. But think about the tiny steps, because that is going to be
mhm.
moving you. Otherwise, you are not able to do the
Yeah,
bigger thing just on one step,
yeah.
of
It's
course.
like people coming to me and saying, "I want to get clients from LinkedIn." Well, of course, we
Hmm.
all want to get clients from LinkedIn, but there's a million steps goes before. So that's like their ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
have to take that in really tiny steps and build that
Mm.
over a long time, and keep moving towards that.
Mhm.
Um, but that's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when working with your clients, what is the number one strategy that you recommend them?
Um, Well, I work through a process. I hadn't really thought of it until my coach actually said to me just this week when we were talking about it. It turned into almost like three C's. So it's clarity,
Mhm.
connection, and content.
Cool.
And it is important that you work in a sequence, that you don't
Mhm.
start one bit and then jump to another bit and then come back to
Mhm.
another bit and then you're sort of a bit all over the place and you're hoping something's going to work, but you're not. It's not really going to work. And it's like anything that we do. You know that too, Remy. You have to follow that process. You have to, for to really get the full potential, you need to have a starting point. You need to do it in sequence in small steps, um, and you need to follow it through to the end. Don't stop halfway and think, oh, I've done everything now. The clients will just come to me. The work will just land on my lap. It'll be all
That's
good.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't work.
Of course, it's
You know,
like that.
and again, that's what people will say. That's why people say to me, "Oh, I tried LinkedIn and it didn't work." So then I say, "Well, how long did you try?" "Oh, a month." And I'm like, you're going to have to give that much longer. I mean, I always use the word patience with LinkedIn, and you do need patience with LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's a long game,
Yeah.
but it's just about that sequence. Don't move on. Don't connect with people until your profile is really all singing, all dancing. Because naturally, if you send a connection request, somebody's going to check out your profile before they decide if they're going to accept it. And if it doesn't look really good, they're possibly not going to accept. When you put content out or when you engage in other people's content, you will notice then that more people are viewing your profile again because you've put out good content. So that goes back to, well, then your profile needs to look, your profile is your business card. This is what people will judge you on, that profile. We all do it. So it's about moving, don't put content out until you've got a relevant audience, because then they will engage in the content if they're the right people. So it all slots in, and it's like an ever-moving, revolving circle. If you do this bit, that impacts that bit, which impacts that bit, which brings us back around to the start, and we keep evolving. So it's important that you follow that set of steps.
And usually having in place a framework or a system is going to help them, because it's more clear to remember, and they know which are the next steps, and they need to figure it out everything. I guess it's like in other platforms, you need to review how it's going, and if you need to pivot or change things, you will adjust when you can
Definitely.
see like what is working best for you, which kind
Yes,
of
what's not
content.
working. Yeah, definitely. And I still put out posts, thankfully not very often, but I put out posts and I think, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to go viral and change the world. And then you put it out and there's just like very little, and you go, oh, that didn't work. Well, we'll not do that again. It's all about experimenting.
Yes. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and as
Yeah.
you say, being open. It's really important that you are open to trying things. You're open to being a bit uncomfortable. And really embracing the platform. And just letting yourself go. As I always say, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. I
You
love
know,
that question. I always love.
if you put out a post, what's the worst thing that can happen? Nobody reacts or
Yeah,
comments.
that's it.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
you
So you need
learn,
to,
and then you put out the next one. Yeah.
yeah, you need to, yeah, just train your ego that is going to be cricket sometimes. And even you
Yep.
put a lot of effort,
Yeah.
intention, but yeah. So, but yeah, keep trying and experimenting and learning more about your audience, what is working, how they
Mm-hmm.
react better, what kind of type of content they prefer. All of us, we evolve, so your content
Oh
will
yeah.
probably evolve as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And definitely look at what other people are doing. I'm a big fan of stalking. I stalk people on LinkedIn all the time. So it is a really useful exercise to go on to LinkedIn, go into the search bar, type in online course creators, and look and see what are they saying. What does their profile look like? Would that encourage me to reach out to them? Why? Because I like how they've said this. I like how they've done this. Look at the engagement they're getting on their posts. well, obviously the audience must like this, and that's the same audience as me. So, so
Yeah.
just look and see what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Definitely, that you'll learn a lot from that.
Absolutely. I would add to that also check what do you like when you are going there? What kind of content do you consume?
Yes,
You
yes,
really looking forward to that person to post something and you are going there and checking because
exactly.
you actually enjoying that kind of content. Because that is going to give you clues about where you should like make your research and trying things because this is something that connect with your way or your
Exactly,
style.
exactly,
So
exactly.
right
Because we are our own ideal client.
somehow we need to connect with that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Maybe also going to some totally different industry and see what they are doing there to get some
Course.
inspiration is also working
Yeah,
well.
yeah, absolutely. Look, just be really receptive to what other people are doing, and just keep looking and learning and watching what words people use, and especially your audience. If you put out a post and people comment, be
Mhm.
really mindful of the actual words that they're using in their comments and use those words back to them again.
Yeah, that's really so
Really
important
important. Yeah.
to learn the language that your
Yes.
audience is using, and yeah, for LinkedIn, but also for your sales page or your newsletter or whatever you are communicating to them,
Yeah.
so they feel that yeah, you understand me, you even know how I phrase it,
Mhm.
this problem. So it's a way to generate much more trust
Yes.
and show them that you really understand them
Yeah.
and you really care about helping them to solve that
Yeah.
problem.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so now our last question is that I like to ask my guest is what is the compliment from a client that has touched you the most?
um, I've been working with a client this year. She inspires me so much because she's absolutely amazing. Um, but she has always said that I've not just changed her outlook of LinkedIn, but really changed her life. And we're really, really good friends now.
Mm.
Um, and she's always messaging and just saying, I love you so much. And um, it's just, she would be like my absolute dream client. She's been, I say, I've probably learned as much from her as she has from me. And we've both almost gone on a journey together. And I've just watched her keep building her confidence. And um she'll just message and go, oh, I'm so excited because my post has just done really well. And that, I mean, yeah, she's been amazing. She's been amazing. um I suppose one of my funny ones that I got is, I had a girl said to me one time, that I make LinkedIn sexy.
Oh, that's cool.
But I sort of went, right, not really sure how I do that, but if you think that, then I'm all for it. So let's go with that. And sometimes I go to a lot of networking meetings, and sometimes I do use that. And the
Mhm.
men always, of course, think it's really funny. Like,
Mm.
apparently, I make LinkedIn sexy, so they always think that's really
This is a good
funny.
superpower that you have now.
So yeah, of course, there's so many compliments. I don't know which one to pick.
Of course.
But no,
Yeah.
yeah, Chantal has been, yeah, she's been
This
incredible.
is lovely how this having a customer could become into a real just personal relationship somehow
Mhm.
because you connect with the persons.
Yeah,
um this is so key to be true to yourself because you will attract people
yeah,
that then
yeah,
you want to have them in your life. It's not just about
absolutely.
business, it's
Yeah.
about how you connect with others and the
Mhm.
kind of relationships that you are looking forward to having.
And we had the
So,
pleasure of meeting as well. Um,
oh, that's nice.
yeah, because she lives in Scotland. I'm in Northern Ireland. She's in Scotland, and my son has just started university in Scotland. And when
Mhm.
I went over to see him, she drove down to meet me, and it was
Oh,
amazing. So yeah,
nice. Cool.
it was really really lovely to meet her. So that was really special.
Yeah, great. Okay, so please tell the audience how they can connect with you and learn more about you and what you do.
On LinkedIn,
Of course.
connect with me on LinkedIn. And ping me a little message if you would like. I'm actually just announced yesterday that I
Mhm.
am opening a Facebook group in January. I did have one last year, and then at the start of the year, I was going through a lot of changes in my business and how I wanted to put myself out there, and it didn't feel the right fit, so I closed it.
Mhm.
But this year, there's been a lot has happened, and I really found me and what I want. So I feel it's the right time now to bring in a new audience in. So it'll be called At Home with LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and it'll open in January. So you might see stuff about that on Facebook.
Cool.
Um, or you can email me, and it's really easy because it's Sharon at sharonmurraylimited.co.uk. So it's an easy one to remember.
Cool.
And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Okay, so thank you for sharing your expertise with us. I really appreciate. Thank you,
No
Sharon.
problem. Thank you for having me. Thanks so much. It's been great.
Cool. Before we go, just a quick reminder to our audience. If you are a new or aspiring online course creator, remember that you can join the feedback hot seats that I am running in my free community. You can join us at rememancera.com/community. And that's it for today. Don't forget to take action, put Sharon's tips into practice, and thank you for watching and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.